Hi guys, it's Taylor. I'm going to be talking about nihilism today and what it means. Is there any real value in it? Can we learn anything from it? A lot of people have the gut instinct to reject nihilism, the whole idea, the whole philosophy. And this is derived from the fact because nihilism basically states, well, everything is pointless. There is no meaning to anything in the universe. No matter what. So everything's meaningless. Doesn't matter what your philosophy is meaningless. What you do in life is meaningless. All of it's meaningless, right? So you can see how this would be a problem. This would seem really depressing, right? But I think there's a few things that are very important to understand about this concept, and to realize that there is some truth in it. There is some truth in it. Now, this goes down to the definition of meaning. See, this is a lot of problems philosophers get into. They think, all these wonderful thoughts, is it this, is it that? They don't realize they're just toying with meanings of words, you see. It's really about the meaning, the definition, and what the word means for each individual. Now, we're going to look at the meaning of the word meaning. What is meaning? It means there is a reason. All right? Now, suddenly, if you get there's a reason, there's a duality problem here. All right? I'm going to explain this. In a sense, the universe is meaningless. It doesn't matter if you believe in God. It doesn't matter what you believe in. And the reason I say that is because if something came from nowhere, or if something always existed, then there was nothing that caused it. Therefore, there was no meaning, because there was no real reason for it to exist. It didn't have to exist, it just does. You see what I'm saying? So, the essence, if God exists, he has no point. He just is, all right? So, there would be no meaning. So then God creating things would be just as meaningless. He just decided to do it. There was no real purpose, all right? So if you look at that, you realize that that is a fact. The fact that the universe exists, it just is, all right? You can't really justify a reason for the universe to exist or for us to exist the way we exist. It just is. There's no way of justifying it. Now the problem is that doesn't mean everything is meaningless, because meaning means there's a reason to something. There's a reason to do something. There's a purpose, right? There's an end goal. And in life, there are end goals. There are things you can accomplish and things you can do. Just because the universe just randomly came in existence without really a natural end goal or absolute, it's like, where is the universe going to go? If it's infinite, there's no real ending. You see what I'm saying? If God can always create more, if God's always there, if things just are, it just is, and it has nowhere to go. But the things inside of that reality do have a direction they can go. So it isn't really meaningless. So for people just to make the blank statement, oh man, everything is meaningless, is pretty ridiculous, because meaning itself is derived from the cause and the end goal. What produced it and what is the purpose? What's the end goal? So with that structure, you can see that it's very easy to find that there must be some sort of meaning in life. Now, the second part is the second part in the philosophy is that there is no meaning except for the stuff that the person creates themselves. And they're saying that because, well, whatever you think has meaning for you after all, because you think it does, So you may think something has meaning that doesn't have meaning in reality. Or you may think something, but this is a side catch. In reality, you could also think something doesn't have meaning that does have meaning. It has an event sequence with an end goal that could be reached. And you may not see that, so you may miss it. So from an overall perspective, there are things in nihilism that can be seen to match in reality, but there are also facets of it that are just extreme. They're just taken to an all-or-nothing perspective, which after all isn't really the way reality is. Reality is kind of a mix of duality. There is no one thing or another. Rather, it's kind of both at the same time. And this is the thing that's rather confusing, but also very interesting. So I hope that fascinates you guys, like what I think about, nihilism and how his beliefs can be added to our life. We can definitely look at it as in a sense of freedom. We realize that there is definitely purpose, but the meaning of purpose can change for each individual based on how they perceive it. But there also is an absolute underlying purposes, many purposes in life that we can find and things that we can do and have results. Oh, and one other thing. Another interesting thing is to realize why some people may think certain things are, purposeless. And some people may come to the realization that all things are going to pass away. And so some people think of this as a nihilistic view too. But all things change. So if you do something now, an example is I build a house, in a few thousand years, it's probably going to be gone. So what's the point? And I would just say, in all reality, that doesn't really matter if it's gone. A goal was still achieved, an outcome still happened. There was something either gained from it or not gained from it. It lasted, it had a time. There's no reason it has to go on infinitely. The fact is, even if it was only for a few seconds, whatever happened came to fruition. It had meaning, it had purpose. So the fact that somebody just wants to go, well, it has to be permanent to have purpose, some people believe this, at least. I'm just pointing this out, is also a really negative view. It's like, why does it have to be permanent to have purpose? I would see that it's fleeting and it can lead to problems like suffering for an individual. So there are things that I believe that are infinite. They have infinite value. And so if you're really that worried about it, then you should choose the infinite value of things in life that have a continuous purpose, such as something you can pass on to other generations, or different things, you know what I mean, or something that is for your life. I think that's another thing that's very important to realize. Something that has infinite purpose is something that has continued value as long as you live. As long as you're alive. As long as you exist. If it's something that can help you for the entirety of existence, then it is absolute value. It is the value that you need to find. That should be the end goal. So those are my thoughts on it. I hope you guys learn from it, and you can leave comments down below or whatever. So see you guys.